We can wait for like 2 more minutes and then start. We also have a Kahoot plan today. It's basically a bunch of like questions about sustainability committee, student council, and social committee from the core session. And I have to admit, a lot of them are student council just because I'm on the student council, and that's mainly what we could do. But yeah.
Also, if you are not comfortable with speaking into the mic, you can put your questions in the chat and we can answer them as well.
Yeah, and today we will have two student council members and one social committee member like in the meeting answering these questions that you guys have. If you have any, if not, we can just chat, you know. And the social committee member is Anna. Wave, yeah.
I can say hi. I don't know if everyone's seeing me, but I'm Anna from Colombia, and I'm part of social committee. Yeah.
And then we have a Tune rep, Javen.
Hi, I'm Javen. I'm the Tune representative for MyMac.
And I'm Anna. I am a core representative. Yeah. So we'll wait like a minute more. Okay, that's probably good. Should we start with the Kahoot or the questions? What are you guys feeling?
I think we should start with a Kahoot, so like we get a little icebreaker. I don't know.
Engage.
Yeah.
All right, we're starting with the Kahoot. I'm gonna share my screen and I'll play it. Can you hear me? Like, is the music too loud? A little bit? We can definitely turn that down as well. Is it better now? All right, I think we're gonna start. All right, I'm starting. Does anybody object? Okay. The first two are just like checking in with you guys, and the rest are fun. Nice. Well, at least the two positive ones are the majority, guys. Woohoo. Shawarma in the lead. We are not TikTokers or Snapchatters. Go follow our Instagram account at DillyStuco. That is correct. You can do whatever you want to after you don't get elected into Stuco. It's not the end of the world. Yeah, there's I think two in the academic building, one on the third floor and one on the first floor, I think. We don't have a specific online open forum, but it sounded like we would, so I put it there to fool you. Jalen. We don't necessarily like facilitate tune time by ourselves, but we have announcements. So. We have snacks though, so. Damn. Everybody was like. You'll get to know what second year buddies and godparents are soon. It's something the social committee organizes. We just got an email about it. The last one. I wrote sustainability. So Javen won. I'm not surprised. Okay. So I hope that gave you a little bit of a better idea of what we are. It was kind of like just a fun, engaging thing at the beginning. But anyways, yeah, you can go ahead and ask any questions that you would like about the Student Council Social Committee. We may also be able to answer just also general questions if you have anything about the school or about another like CAS or a council, anything that was mentioned, especially in the core session this morning. You can also type it in the thing. So yeah, let us know. Do you guys want to take that or?
Go ahead, Anna. You explain it.
Actually, I think Sophie has been working in the greenhouse for a bit. Sophie, are you there?
She may just be recording it, but I'm not sure.
I'm here.
You think you
Sorry,
can
I was
answer that?
working in a different tab. I heard greenhouse. Is there a question in the chat?
Yeah, they asked like what is the sustainability committee's current project in the greenhouse? Maybe you know something about that.
Okay, yes, I do know quite a lot about it. We have just started a number of different projects. So Armin was talking about this idea of permaculture. That's something he's particularly interested in, but we have a traditional greenhouse in which we grow vegetables and fruit. We are looking at building some raised beds outside of that greenhouse during Project Week. And we have the hope of being more organized so that we can actually supply the canteen on a regular basis with vegetables. And we also sell some of our produce to some of the local restaurants, Cafe Number 2, for example. So we're trying to be as productive as possible. The second project, which is just starting off again, we have an aquaculture unit, but it hasn't started yet. So we have Armin, who you met earlier on, introducing the project in one of the films. He is now involved in actually setting that up, getting the tanks filled, getting fish, and actually starting to grow produce there. So we've got high hopes for that. And yeah, that's basically it. So that's where we are at the moment. There's lots to do, but we have been very successful in the past few months. So we hope to expand and perhaps we'll be self-sufficient at some point.
Amazing. The next one is, how does the election process in social committee and student council work? So do you want to start, Anna, the social committee?
Yeah, sure. But I think there was a question before that one about no, never mind. No. So basically for social committee, we basically send out a form with a couple of questions to all the first years about what ideas do you have, why do you think you can like fit into social committee, like why do you want to be in it, and these types of questions. And then all of you get called into a interview, and then these interviews are around 15 to 20 minutes. We ask more about you, what do you want to be part of, and then we take notes, and all of these notes are anonymous. And then we discuss all as like committee, like who should get in and who will bring more like good ideas into our plate, and like who can be like a good member of our committee. And then we just tell you that you're part of it. And yeah.
Yeah, thanks for
David,
sharing.
you
And
want to speak too?
yeah, I think I can explain the election process for Toon Reps, and then you can take the election process for the course. So what happens is basically there are 2 student council terms in a year, and basically our next election would tentatively be in October. And if you want to be a Toon Rep during Toon time, I guess maybe a couple of weeks before the elections, like your Toon Rep will probably say that, okay, Toon like rep elections are gonna come soon, so you got to demonstrate your interest to the Toon Rep. And once that's happened, then you start maybe thinking about what you want to say, because you will be required to deliver a minute and 15 seconds long speech to your Toon during the election night, detailing, I guess, like why you want to be a Toon Rep, what can you bring to the Toon, so on and so forth. And basically after like the whole Toon has heard, like everyone who's running and has heard their speeches, the Toon basically votes for who wants to be their Toon Rep, and each Toon elects 1 representative to the student council. So basically that's how the election process for Toon Reps work. It's slightly different for Corso, and I can explain that to you guys now.
Yeah, so for cores, there's like 3 kind of sessions. On Monday, during Monday briefing, which is an assembly period where all of the school comes together, staff and students, you have to deliver a short speech. And then later on in the week, there is 1 day of informal question and answer sessions and one day of like semi-formal question and answer sessions. The first one is essentially all of the core representatives candidates go into a room or a common room, and they're just basically asked questions either directly or in like a group of people. And then the next day of the next Q&A session is a panel of all of the student council core representative candidates, and they get asked the same question, and then you go down the line and answer the same exact question. For example, like how would you do in this situation, while a bunch of students watch and like evaluate which candidate they enjoyed the answer from the most. And then that Thursday there is the voting process, and during Toon time everybody votes, and then I think it's like the next Monday you get to see, or the next Friday you get to see whether you are core or not. And yeah, that is the whole process. Did I miss anything, Javen?
No, I think that's fairly accurate.
Okay.
And I think I can address the next question by Shino. She says, as the student council, what kind of problems do we discuss, and does it take a lot of time to be a part of it? So basically, actually, as a student council, a lot of what we discuss is dictated by you, the students. We take in feedback from the students. We have different platforms where we collect, I guess, feedback and sort of suggestions from students, and those are what we discuss in the student council. And if it is required, we bring it up to community council. So please make sure if you have any concerns or any questions or even suggestions for how the school community can improve, make sure to let your Toon representative or the core know. In terms of the time it takes to be part of the student council, like, I'm not gonna lie, it does take up quite a bit of your week attending meetings and facilitating Toon times, and but it is a very rewarding job because you get to learn a lot about how the school works and how to work with other people in the community. And it is a very rewarding job as well because, as I said in my introduction video, it allows our community to be the best versions of ourselves. And I think I can answer another question at the same time. Actually, and I guess a benefit of being on the student council is that it does count as a CAS. So it does count as a service and creativity CAS. So you can write reflections on it and
only the community council though.
Yeah, only the community council. Like, yeah, it counts as a CAS activity, so you can write reflections and it will count towards your overall portfolio.
Yes. And yeah, so in if you want like an example of what problems we discuss, we can discuss something like maintenance, or oftentimes we'll get a lot of telonyms or people asking us about like laundry things not working, stuff like that. So small things like that. But also, for example, we handle any type of issue. So if there's something that a student would like, a lot of students would like to open one of the partitions in the common rooms, then that's something we discuss. Or if there's an issue with the regional evenings, then that's something we discuss. And we send out a lot of forms to get a lot of feedback. And so really like a lot of things. So it's really hard to just, or we also are making a disciplinary council. We provided bikes. So a lot of different things, yeah. And it takes quite a bit of time. But you can, as a student council like person, you can always like do more or less. It's very in this, group setting. And do you want to do the next one? It says this is for social committee. Can you explain?
Yeah, for sure. So basically, League of Tunes. In the residences, we are all divided by tunes. And basically, League of Tunes is a competition between all of our tunes. And what we do is there's competitions with sports, dances, music, and there are different activities that are all organized based on just having fun. And what we do here is that there's multiple competitions and multiple games, dances, everything during the year. And then depending on the social committee, like adds up points on who is winning, each game and each sport has like different criteria. And then at the end of the year, there's a tune that wins League of Tunes for that year, depending on the different competitions that happened every year. Yeah. I hope that made sense. I think it did.
It's like friendly competitions between tunes. Yeah. What do applications to be in the core, when do applications, I'm very happy this is helpful. Applications to be in the core, we are thinking, we don't have a concrete week necessarily right now planned. It's either going to be starting the, wait, let me just go back. So basically the student council elections take about 4 to 6 weeks for an entire student council to be elected and working, because when a tune rep gets elected, they first get elected and then they have 2 weeks of induction. So they attend meetings with the previous student council so that they can get acquainted to it. And then just that week, so after that, there is the core elections. And then 2 weeks after that, there's still the 2 cores from before attending. So basically, we're thinking of starting the entire process either 28th of September or the beginning of October. So that would mean that 2 weeks after that, core elections would start. That was long. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I think I can take the next one.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yep. Okay. So there's a question from Shakib. He says that is there a typical campaign period before the student council elections? Actually, no. Contrary to what a lot of people think, it's not a typical election for student body president. Basically, it's a very it's not a very big affair, but it is a very important one. So there is no campaign period where people hand out flyers and T-shirts. But basically, there you for the course there is that sort of week of events where they can sort of make themselves known to the school community. But there is no campaign period for the tune reps. And subsequently, there's a question about how can we be sure that this doesn't turn into a popularity contest. So this was one of the concerns which came up last year as well. And in order to address this for the core elections, that's why we started the entire, week-long sort of series of events where we give candidates a platform to actually showcase what they want to do for the community. And also the benefit of being in such a great community is that a lot of us are able to look past those superficial sort of concerns, and a lot of people here generally are interested in helping the school community, and so they would probably vote for people who will bring positive change to the school community. Do you have something to add, Anna?
I think also the campaigning period makes it less a popularity contest because it's purely on what you answer, like the answer to your questions and the and how you like conduct yourself before and during the student council election. So I would say the like there's obviously a tendency with a lot of like people, but the way that we try and do it is that are those things that Jathan said. But of course, I assume that some of it is sometimes a popularity contest. Yeah. Does being inclusive of the student council encompass all? Oh wait, that was already answered. If you apply to be a core and fail, do you still have the opportunity to be in student council or any other committee for that matter? The tune rep elections are before the core elections. So if you want to try out for both of them, you first have to do tune rep elections, and then if you get it, then you're a tune rep. But if you don't, you can apply for the core position, and you can also apply twice. So if you don't get it, for example, this like October, you'll be able to apply next March or April. And yeah, wait, did you want to add something, Anna?
Yeah, social committee is before tune rep and before core. It's like the first elections of all the committees.
And it's also worth noting that peer listeners come after everything. So if you're really set on being a peer listener, then maybe not run for tune rep or core or social committee. And also, yeah, so if you, let's say you really set on being core as well, and you run for core and you don't get it, you can like from like the first term, you can run for tune rep in the next term as well. So that works as well.
And you can be anything after you don't get like any type of role. Like if you don't win the elections or anything, you can always be a peer listener or something else. And you can also join the student council and then leave the student council to be a peer listener. Yeah. Can somebody be a member of the student council for 2 terms? Yes, you can be. If a pandemic happens, you don't have to run twice. You can just, no, I'm kidding. Basically, if you apply and get it in October, and then you reapply and also win in April/March, you can do it for 2 terms. Yeah, and that goes for both cores and tune reps, right?
Yep, and this was something which was agreed for by like the whole school like student body, so it's not something which we came to like by ourselves. Because I think it's really important to remember as well that the student council is as good as the people who voted in. So if you want a good student like council and you want your voice to be heard on the student council, be sure to vote for people who will represent your interest on the student council.
Do core elections take place again in March, April? Yes. They both tune and core elections happen then as well. Student council is elected together, like in the same time. Also, a lot of these, and if we like end the session and you are left still with questions, we have a student council website, and I can put the link here, and you can look on the constitution. We have a student council constitution and a bunch of other type of things. And the student council constitution was voted on by the students, and all of the clauses were also got student input. So,
yep. And it's also worth noting that every I guess every academic year the constitution is reviewed so that it is up to date, and yeah, basically it's decided by the students. And there's a question about whether the student council contains both DP1 and DP2. So that is a very interesting question. So like the first round of elections in October, DP1s and DP2s can run, but a lot of DP2s choose not to run because of, I guess, the amount of work that they already have. But in the March elections, DP2s are not allowed to run because they have to carry on into the next academic year. So the first one could be a mixed bag, but the second term, like in the academic year, must be purely like DP1s.
I want to add something. For social committee, you basically get elected around October, and then you are part of social community till next October. So, for example, we're gonna be with you first years when we elect you guys until the winter ball, which is the party of before December break, but then you're off alone, and then until like next year and so on.
Also, DP2s, if you're in this call and want to like answer / add anything, you can go ahead, I guess.
Most probably yes. Because we usually have around 12 people once a year, and we have seen that it's better to have less amount of people to make decisions and just to work around. But yeah, we usually, maybe you take 1 or 2 people in second term or like fourth term, but not really.
We also encourage DP2 students, if you can handle the workload, to run, even if you are like nervous, because sometimes like it's like a lot of the times like all DP1 students will run and DP2 students will feel like not attracted to it because of that, but we encourage that definitely.
And also, yeah, because a lot of you, I know a lot of you wanted to run last year before the world got turned upside down, and that didn't happen, and we sort of seized emergency powers. But yeah, I guess if you really wanted to be a student council, I still highly encourage you to run, even though it is a lot of work. I can promise you, it is very rewarding.
Wait,
You have
did
a
someone
question,
tell him?
Shuntaro? You have a question?
Can you tell?
Shuntaro?
Can you tell him? Isn't that what Sophie said? Um,
Sorry, guys. I'm assuming you're all smiling at what I'm seeing in the middle of my screen, and I think it would be quite kind to let him know.
yeah, but I can't read his name.
No,
I think
neither
he's
can
from
I.
Russia.
I'm sure somebody will recognize him.
Hello, are you listening? Russian guy who's touching his phone in front of his camera. I yeah, your camera is on all the time, so probably it's better if you could turn off your camera, I guess.
No worries,
We
we
can-
all understand, but
Yeah, we can see what you're doing, so.
thanks a lot.
Yeah. Wait, no. Okay.
Thank you, Shintaro. But yeah, are there any more questions? And yeah, it doesn't have to be about student council. We can also answer the other questions that you may have.
And I see also other DP2 students, so you can ask any of us.
So is anyone thinking of running for student council
Or SoCo, just saying.
or sustainability committee? Okay, I think if there are no other questions, I think we can adjourn this meeting. And always feel free to reach out to any student council member, any social committee member, or any sustainability committee member if you have any questions, concerns, queries. We're always here for you guys.
Yes. Oh, we also, I forgot to mention, we also have a food committee, which we created last year. And that is, sorry, Sophie, did you want to say something about that? Oh, okay. And I assume it's reoccurring this year, yes?
Yeah, and it was basically just to address the concerns people had with the cafeteria, because some people were just concerned that food was not being labeled properly for vegetarians, so on and so forth. So if you have any cafeteria related issues, you can address the food committee.
Yeah.
It was, again, one of those initiatives that collapsed pretty quickly because of the lockdown, but we had a number of successes, and I think we can now see in the cafeteria there's green tea available and a number of other things. The labeling has improved. So the idea is to make sure that everybody is catered for and can eat healthily and well.
Yes, and also something that's in the works and very close to being finished is disciplinary council. Disciplinary council has been something that has been in the works since like the beginning of the student council before us, and we were just about to finish it, like literally 2 weeks about to finish it, and then we got sent home. So we're restarting that again. And what disciplinary council is that we saw that students often felt that they wanted to be part of the disciplinary action like thought process in like what comes out of it. So for example, if there's somebody that if there's, instead of just being the administration or the SMT like the senior management team, the ones to decide what disciplinary action would happen to students that did certain things. Now we're having also a panel of teachers plus students be a part of that decision. And we feel like that will improve like trust between the administration and the students, which is something that we all want. And yeah, trust and communication and like, so you'll also be able to run for disciplinary council, but we don't know when. But everybody here will be able to do that. And the election process is a little bit different, but we'll explain that when everybody's up on campus. Yelda asked, what is the status of the code of conduct? There is a code of conduct that is it currently up for review still, Sophie?
I was just searching for the presentation that I prepared, because you might remember that you asked me to have a presentation for introducing the main bits to students. And as far as I know, that is still valid. So that is where we are. There are, I think, separate from what we have in the student handbook, there is the sort of official policy document, but I didn't look at that at the time, and as far as I know, that hasn't been changed.
But yeah, exactly. So when will we have it? We will, I think that before it is like released and fully activated, the students will be able to comment on it, and we'll be able to do like a group, like a review. And the form of that, hopefully we'll be able to kind of release it and then do a form or a town hall or something like that, depending on how many people are willing to like comment on it. So you'll have the edited one before you'll have the final one. But I don't know when we will get that. Do you know, Sophie?
I'm sorry, but no, I don't know. We haven't set dates. We have put everything on the side because we're currently doing this.
So there was a new question in the chat which asks, do you have to be in the student council to be in the core, or is it a separate selection process? That's actually a really good question, because many times the core is elected from within the student council, but here it's different. Here there's a separate selection process for the core, and as Anna mentioned, twin reps are selected first, and then there is a 2-week induction period for those twin reps, and then the core election process takes place. But within the student council, like the twin reps, we have our individual roles as well. Like last year, I was in charge of measuring and announcing food waste. Ernest is in charge of sending out forms to and being the liaison with Samvel, and yeah, so on and so forth.
Yeah, and also the the core is elected from the entire student body, and the tunes are elected from their tune specifically. And we had actually a discussion about if it should be different, but we made it a point to have one representative that was not partial to any tune, and the rest were like representing their tune.
So actually, no, yeah, you don't have to be a tune rep to be the core. Actually, if you're a tune rep, you can't run for core while you're a tune rep. And Yalta asked who's in charge of reading our constitution. So I'm not sure if you remember, but last year, like just like it was also like one of those things just before we went back. We actually sent out the constitution during tune time for students to read and give feedback. So that will probably happen this year as well in sometime during March. But yeah, the students read it, they gave feedback, and we made changes based on the feedback.
Yeah. What do you mean do you mean like regularly reading the Constitution?
Yeah, so especially the part about elections.
Yeah, I mean,
You might find some slight things that are not quite in order when you read the part.
All right, thank you. We will.
And you can try to compare it to the last election if you want to.
Yeah, because we actually made changes like onto the constitution based on what the students said in March. That's why it's slightly different from the previous election. But yeah, we'll take a look at it. Like, thanks.
Yeah.
Anna, can you take this one? All right. So yeah, there's a question from Chen Fang who asked, "What are the separate responsibilities of the chorus compared to the regular student council?" Anna, do you want to take that question?
So the core and the tune representatives, we work like very, very hand in hand. But essentially the different role, like if you're looking at a very broad thing, is that the core is usually a facilitator of communication and ideas from the administration and the staff and things like that to the students, and they bring the ideas from the entire student body, no matter what tune you are from, etc., to community council and the student council. And tune representatives are usually representing what the tune would like specifically. And we also run, or not run, we like facilitate Monday briefing, which is an assembly that we have like every Monday during the day. And so the two cores will like pass the mic to everybody who wants to make an announcement. That is one of our responsibilities. And also when you get in the first student council meeting, everybody, you kind of like set it up for yourself. So everybody, as Javen says, gets like a specific role, and you discuss what type of responsibilities you guys would like to do. For example, food waste manager and all of that within. So it's very much like a discussion process, except for that like intricacy of core is the entire student body representative versus tune rep is a tune representative. Yes.
But yeah, like what I think is so equally like that is important to sort of stress is that there is no like I guess like difference in power level. Like tune reps are just as important to the entire process as the cores, and I think Anna can agree to that as well.
Definitely. Like there's no hierarchy or type of thing, and it's not like we can override anything that the tune reps say. It's always a discussion and a collaboration.
Thank you very much, Yalta, for the causes to review.
Yeah, we can just take it next time we meet, but then you can be prepared.
Yeah. Actually, you can come to our next meeting and we can discuss this as well. Yeah.
Yalta is a proud Constitution reader. He is the only person, I think, in the student body that reads their Constitution, and I'm so grateful for it because all our hard work goes into that.
And it's important that the student body keeps the student council in check as well. So thank you very much, Yalta.
Definitely. Also, yeah, it's important.
Okay, I think this is probably the end of our session.
Any more comments?
if there are none, I hope to see you at our next student council meeting. We will send out the link
Yeah,
to our
all of
next student
the
council
council
meeting.
meetings are open, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, one of our principles is transparency. So whatever we do, you will know what we are doing.
Yeah.
Right.
Um,
Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hope this was helpful.
Thank you everyone for coming, and we'll see you again tomorrow. DP1s, I mean. Thank you.
Shintaro probably left his computer. That was fun.
What was happening? What was happening in the with the guy with the phone?
Oh, okay. Yeah, basically what
Oh, wait.
happened was,
It's recording, but yeah.
yeah, no, it's no worries. Like he was using his phone, and I guess everyone could see what he was looking at, and I don't think he knew. So he thought it would be nice if
What was
we
he?
told him.
Do you know? I don't know. Sorry, I didn't even check.
Yeah, it's fine. Not a big deal.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for coming.
Bye.
Bye.